What up, my freaks? RuinusInsight here with part 17 of my Total War Warhammer 3 modded Thorgrim Grudgebearer Old World campaign. So as we saw last time, a new age of reckoning is upon us as due to reacting to the comments requesting that I not delay it, I decided to go with it. Sure, let's see if we can pull this one off. In the 2 turns that we've had so far, we've only managed to rack up about 4% Age of Reckoning progress, so it's going to be a doozy, and we'll need to rely most likely on completing some of those legendary grudges in order to make up the numbers. 85,000 is more than twice as much as we originally had. Otherwise, we are in a new turn. I ended the turn between the episodes, but I did not do anything else. I didn't even move the heroes or the admin, for those of you who were hoping for that. Yeah, just a brand new turn, because at the end of last episode, there was a turn end remaining, and nothing else. In terms of our situation currently, we are looking to finish up with this portion of the map shortly by wiping out Queek, and might as well hit Nagashazar while there. And, ooh, hello, we got an army here. Gouge your face smasher, right? I can't reach you, unfortunately. I wonder if you'd be willing to fight this army. With the full stack at Karaz-a-Karak, this might be an immediate last stand for the Grudge Settler army, which, I mean, I wouldn't mind too much. Granted, it'll be something of a waste of it, but considering we won't get another one for 18 turns, if we get one, but I guess we'll see. Anyway, what I was going to say is this. We have our poor Bretonnian allies in pretty bad shape. Castle Akatana is under siege. The rats continue to advance out of their massive empire. That's Scryer. This is Pestilence. And then to the north of Bretonnia, the Broken Axe Greenskins are on the verge of wiping out Lewin, as well as he's now completely surrounded by them. So they're not doing too great. In the Land of the Dead as well, everything here except this one little Skaven area. Horn of Araby is Skaven, but then all of this is Slaanesh, and then all of this massive territory, this is all Manfred. So yeah, he's done well for himself. And then all the way out here, we've got the Vampire Coast, and then out here, we've got Nurgle, who appears to have wiped out Khemri, or at least is very close to it, with the sheer amount of territory that's being Nurgle corrupted. So yeah, all of this is essentially our enemies, which is going to be interesting. The lowlands are in trouble, even as we continue to reclaim the realms. Now, new turn, so I guess we are going to get started from the top once again. Thorgrim, ooh, new tech. I believe we were going to go for field engineers for that reload time reduction for all artillery pieces, but it's mostly we want to get ancestral tombs up and running, A, for the character experience gain, but B, for the capstone techs. Mostly these two right now, as the way of the clans won't be important for another 18 turns. Now, Thorgrim, you could go directly for Magar-Khan, but I'm a gambling man, at least in this regard, and I'm going to say grab those shipwrecks first and then go to Magar-Khan after. Who knows? We might luck into something nice. Hopefully we can auto-resolve them. Alrighty, and quick save in case it crashes, and let's see how much damage this does to us. It's a minor army, and well, still a fair bit of damage. In fact, I think we'll heal up because we got to do that one again, and... It did crash. Well, that's, that was quick. Only a few minutes in, too. Oh, well, what can you do? Alright, let's hope it works this time. All that effort for probably nothing. We'll see. Oh, I didn't quick save it this time, but, well, I'm not gonna... Well, I guess it was already quick saved. Anyway, let's heal up and let's see. Will it crash again? Did it crash before this guy moved or no? I guess not. Okay, well, that time it worked at least. Let's try again. 2 in a row. And hopefully you can actually reach Sour Bay once you... Okay, I guess we'll find out in a second. Explore the island, resolve it again. Okay, I don't like how it's lagging while it's loading the thing. We will quick save it. Unless it's the quick save that's screwing it over. I don't think so, though. Because it crashed plenty of times before I ever did any quick saving. And... Okay, I guess you don't need to heal this time around, because... Well, actually, we don't know if we'll heal to full over the course of the next turn, so why risk it, right? Alright, good. And good. Alright, a little bit of XP for Thorgrim. I was hoping for lucky materials at sea or lost cargo. Alas, not the case, but it's fine. Go to the edge of the Sour Bay territory and get ready to hit Magor Khan next turn, Thorgrim. Should still be pretty fun. And that leveled you up at least one. Wow, minus 44% construction cost. Pretty darn solid. And we should be able to capture this place at tier 4 and maybe build some useful buildings for us. Too bad it didn't have another... Oh, wait. Wait. Cancel Sour Bay. I just realized something. That only puts up to tier 2. Damn. I was hoping that if it would bring us up to 3 population surplus, we would have been able to... Okay, well, that was a waste of time, then shouldn't have canceled it. I was hoping that... It was 1, and then we canceled it, and then it just ate a bunch of growth for no reason. Ugh, okay, well, whatever. Great start today. Anyway, 9699. Ignore the 2. Nice. But anyway, what was I saying? What was I saying here? Alright, we gotta go to Magor Khan. I was hoping that we'd be able to immediately upgrade to tier 5, like we did the Lair of the Troll King, due to the bonus to his population surplus, but alas, doesn't look like the case. Anyway, Joseph of Zorn. You have now wiped out the clan Bzark, or whatever those guys were called, House of Bzark. You do still have the House of Baal. What about House of Baal? You have 4 territories. Oh, you are up here as well. Okay. I mean, I guess we could move up here through their territories, wipe them out, and then look back towards the Grey Hag Greenskins as well. They're not doing super well against this faction anyway. I mean, not right now, because we are going to jump down here to Black Sands. As soon as we build stuff here, might as well start on that, because we have the construction reductions available. Let's upgrade you. Let's upgrade some mines. And... will adjacency actually be at all useful in this place? It essentially... I'm just wondering whether we bother with the trading depots in this location, or would the Darklands territories be a good place to get some capacities? We do need various kinds of capacities. We need several Bugman's Rangers buildings, and we need several Thane buildings. We need like 1 million engineer buildings, though those need to be tier 3. You're at least on the way. Actually, you're at least on the way as well. And we can get engineer capacity at tier 2. You know what? I kind of like that. We'll do Thane, or we'll do maybe Thane here and then engineer and stuff here. We'll forego the... I'll forego the outposts here. Granted, if we take this territory and actually hold it, then it would still be somewhat useful. And it is a 4 settlement territory, but then I guess, you know what, nonetheless, or we could always do half and half. Still do those, but then at the same time build an engineer thing. You know what, I like that. Let's do engineer here, let's do engineer here, and then let's do a Bugman's Ranger thing here instead. I guess we could also do an engineer thing here, but it'll be a bit. Mechas and War, obviously, and you are now good. And we'll keep building there, but for now, you're going down to Black Sands, or at least near to it, and then heading down to Omdra's Lair. Alright, and we will... eventually need to delete these, but not right now, because, you know, the settlement might get attacked, and you might as well keep those units that are garrisoning it. Ulfar Norgrimling, you are still traveling to meet up with Ungrim Iron Fist somewhere up here, probably at Grundrixon's mines, so just, I guess, march stance up here. We still need to wipe out this frickin' Black Spider faction, but they're just kind of sitting there because they're a isolationist faction, or a Forest Guardian faction, I think it's called, so we can just ignore them, at least for now. Snorri Morgrimmel, you have Slayers to deliver to Ungrim. Grudge Settler Slayers, that is. A rear guard obviously doesn't need to do anything. Grimly, I don't know, I clicked your thing, but, you're going up here. Oh, they took frickin', huh? Huh? What is this? Why do we have an orthodoxy building? No. I don't know, that confused me greatly for a moment. Anyway, I guess you're going up here. Ooh, not into the attrition territory, though. Why do we even suffer attrition here? Chaos corruption. Ugh, okay. Well, it's a little bit annoying that this guy took Nalfari Plan. I think that's a territory that we actually have to keep for ourselves, and I think so is Doomkeep. So Boris keeps taking stuff, but he might lose it again to Felman Ingerson, depending on what happens to this army, whether it can survive the attack of the Norskins. A little bit annoying, but it is what it is. I also see Boris has moved down here, though that means if we take Shaman Darek, we would be well positioned to get a lot of money for it. Okay, go as far as you can, Malachi. You're gonna go down here, and we'll see if we can get Shaman Dark. Also, let me just check Castle Alexandrinov real quick. Okay, 1 turn. And I still want to build that Frost Worm, so we'll deal with that. Ron Hammerfist, and ooh, just realized we can get another quest going because we're down to 2 turns on that Confederation debuff. Good. All right, so you're not recruiting as yet, Gromby. If we're fighting a quest battle, it's you that'll be fighting it. Kind of annoying that this guy's standing out here. We could attempt to capture Svedora, though it will not be cinematically capable, and I want to see what these guys are looking like. Close victory. Huh, I wonder if they'd be willing to actually attack us in the field. They got some neat stuff. You know what, we'll give them a chance. We'll wait the turn, Gromby. And if they sally out, I'd rather fight them in the field, because it'll be more fun than just, you know, destroying them from a distance. Just generally tends to be the case. Finn. Your army can now move. You are missing 1 engineer, but that's really not that bad. Let us move you out here. Ooh, you can't quite reach Dringorackaz. Alright, fine. Go into ambush stance and move this way. While Kadri, you are going out here. And we'll see if this guy attacks you. And whether he does or he doesn't, probably not going to make a major difference. Like so. Alright, that looks good. Next up, we have... Okay, that was Gromby, that was Finn, we have Thorek. Ignore your guard, Asgal. Thorek, you are in range of Withered Eye Hold, so we could very well take it for ourselves. And I did say that we could grab this little mountain range for us. There's some nice stuff here. So there's gold, there's wine, there's... Okay, there's nothing else there, but it is adjacent to the petroleum, so... Certainly something to do. Alright, fine. Thorek, grab this real quick. Let us also see who you're at war with. Just the Slaves of the Black Dwarf and the Western Provinces. Western Provinces, we will join your war against the Withered Eye. For money. Tribute to the High King. And let's see what missions we have. Great Orthodoxy. Ibis. Yeah, sure. Reichland, Waldekir. And Darkland Bandits, Waldekir as well. Ooh, starting to get decent amount of allegiance on Reichland, which is good, because we were always intending to build war wagons for Mr. Bugman. You. Can you start recruitment on those? Do we have those available? Oh, it's still being constructed? You gotta be kidding me. Is it 1 more turn away? Yeah, it's 1 more turn. Okay, fine. Those outposts. Alright, hopefully we can actually construct war wagons in that particular location, because, you know. Anyway, Thorek. Go for Withered Eye Hold. And obviously auto-resolve it. These guys might jump towards us, but that'll be fine, or at least I hope it's fine. Let's auto-resolve... You? A little bit of damage on our Quarlers. Still interesting that the Great Weapon ones are getting obliterated by the auto-resolve and the shielded ones are being ignored. Occupy. Alrighty, and we can... You know what? Don't collect income. We'll keep the stuff here and immediately upgrade this. Keep the stuff here because we can use it as garrisons and then delete it. Frankly, this is a tiny garbage territory and this is probably a good place to never, in fact... Oh, you know what? Yeah, I like that idea. No money generation here, just use it solely for capacities. Engineers, Thanes, and probably Rangers as well. Plus it'll keep the garrisons rather nice. Alright, I like it. A purpose for every hold. Thorek, that's you. Vikram Burdrick, you are still delivering, or working on delivering. You can jump up here. Does that do anything for us? Does that actually save any time? I don't think so. Nah, I don't think so. Just march stance down there. Gotri, hold fast. You are holding fast, as you've been doing for a couple of turns, but we got you in the Confed, and until we reach you with our actual armies, there's not much we can do about it. Dwinbar Ranulfson, now you've taken command of this army, and you are going to move down to Cursed Pit, where we are hoping to find a massive number of rats. I also had another idea for a different range army. Man, I have so many different armies still wanting to try, but I mean, considering the amount of territory we still have to cover, it's probably going to work out. Anyway, I was thinking we make an army using Bugman's Rangers and and an Overseer Lord, but also a stalking artillery and stalking range heroes. Basically an army completely with stalk and snipe. An invisible range damage army. I mean, until the enemy closes the distance. But I think it might be really neat. And draw an artillery piece that can stalk and snipe with a bunch of Bugman's Rangers that can't be seen because of snipe as well. and the range increased by the Overseer, and then probably whatever else we can find that's stalking and sniping from allied factions and that sort of thing. Anyway, I would like you to come down there, but at the same time, you can't fight the rats in that manner, as decent likelihood you'll die. Spike Peak, can you defend yourself? Maybe we should just reset you and then build your army somewhere. I mean, that's the best way to use you right now. I mean, we'd be building your army probably out here somewhere. Or at Kaferkammaz tomb, maybe, where we can generate Iron Drakes, because you were slated to build... Oh, actually, you know what? I know where we'll send you. We'll send you to Karaz, because A, we need to reclaim Ekrond in the Badlands. B, we wanted you to combine organ guns and Iron Drake torpedoes, and this territory has both of those. All right. It's decided. Go. Start here, I guess. It'll keep you safer than going to Spike Peak, where you might get attacked by the undead and killed before we get to use ya. Anyway, that was... Who was you? Karaz-a-Karak. I lost my place. Okay, well, let's just keep going through this, and hopefully we'll find it again. I think that actually might have been out of order. Anyway. I guess we're going to Kingsway with the Lyric. We gotta wait until Ungrim arrives, but it doesn't mean we can't fight until we do. I'm still nervous about the way that Akka is kind of hanging around there. Almador. Okay, no. That's out of order. The whole damn system is out of order. Anyway, Gautry Holdfast, we checked you. Lyric, Kalon, Almador. Oh, you were in... He was next anyway. Let's besiege Gundat. If there's a full stack there, you won't be able to take it, but you can just wait until Alaric arrives. King Azrael's nearby anyway as well. What do we have here? It's a pretty elite garrison. Yeah, this army would probably get destroyed fighting it. No way to knock out the enemy artillery, and they just do too much damage from a distance. On the one hand, I mean, if it didn't have Grudge Settler troops, I wouldn't. Because I wouldn't want... but I don't want to lose the Grudge Settler troops because we don't have any method of getting more, so we'll wait. We'll wait until Ungrim arrives. It's all good. Or until King Azrael does it for us. Speaking of King Azrael, let's see what's in Moonstone Mountain. And yes, hello, we have a proper good garrison, and we have a Pyrrhic victory. Our army is incomplete. And a stack of Skaven slaves, and... Okay, the Warp Grinder is going to be annoying. Yes, alright, this sounds like a debut for King Azrael. I like it. Everguard with shields, we got 2 units of... Oh, we're supposed to have another unit of hammers, which, okay, we can't make because this isn't our own territory. Fair enough. This will be the first fight for Azrael on his long journey to reclaim the Silver Pinnacle. Before we start, engagement threshold, I believe, reached, or at least very close to it, and trending towards it, so we're fine. 300 likes, 60 comments, 50 comments, and the next episode will be an hour-ish, hour adjacent, really most likely closer to 2 hours long, because I'm having a lot of fun with this campaign. Go. Wait, save, and then go. Alright, let's just pretend that it's one of the Thanes talking about vengeance and all that. Here we go. King Azrael, the Silver Hammer, and the sort of beginnings of the Frostfire army, to be modified as it goes. But you gotta love the Frostworms in SFO, and they are pretty darn fantastic. When we originally got King Azrael in the Malachi campaign, he was using vanilla versions of Frostworms, which are a little bit lackluster in some ways. In SFO, however, they have a mini Mortis Engine effect, and more importantly, the melee damage reflection as well, as long as they have sufficient HP. So it's pretty darn solid, especially if the enemies blob up around them. And we got 3 of them in this army to start, a 4th one to be built whenever we can, and obviously the other hammers. We can make the Frostworms deal fire damage, that would also be nice. Though admittedly, these guys they cause Frostfire, but they don't directly deal fire damage. So we certainly need a Banner of Eternal Flame in this army. And whatever else we can get that deals fire damage for the melee units. Dragonfire handguns we would usually put in there. Oh, the thing looks good at the head of the Everguard, and I mean really good. The Everguard sort of echoing the Thane setup, and the Thane is just a little bit more fancy, both in terms of cloak and all that. But that's fantastic. I like it. I like it a lot. Well, I guess every single unit of hammers in this army is going to have a Thane leading them, as once again we got to have the Council of Thanes up and running, while the High Lord will lead the Everguard afterwards, just eventually, once we get the army properly up and running. Anyway, we are arrayed against us, rather, is 2 full stacks of rats, and we're going to have to deal with them. They do have an artillery piece, but we don't really have an easy way to deal with said artillery piece here, so we're just going to do our best to position ourselves such that we're at least a little bit protected from it, and then adjust and kill the rats and then move to the artillery piece after. Anyway, I'm just going to speed this up a little bit while we position ourselves and get those frost rooms up ahead a little bit just to charge in against some clan rats, I want to say. Or Skaven Save Spears. Frankly, neither one would have been a threat to the frost worms in their current form, so yeah, just whack away at them a little bit and then charge on back. Fortunately, the frost worms can reposition very quickly at 75 move speed. And then that'll allow our hammers to charge on in, and then the frost worms to get back into the fray. Oh, I don't like this Skaven color scheme. It's a little bit too blendy into the environment, and it's making it difficult to tell them apart from our own units. Granted, ours are a lot more metallic than theirs, but nonetheless. Not a big deal, mind you, and at least the Thane is easy to spot, and oh yeah, Frostworm doing good work now. Alright, we're only going to have 4, but we can, we'll probably need to give them names. As to how how do you get an appropriate dwarven name for some frostworms? An interesting question, but anyway, in the meantime, we've got Plague Monks and Storm Vermin with Halberds, so we do have to be careful about the Frostworm taking a lot of anti-large damage, so we're going to pop that Rune of Oath and Steel while it continues the Frost aspect of the Frost and Fire. We got a little bit in the way of fire in the form of our Drake Guns here and our Flame Cannons, though once again, it'll need adjustment. Not that I dislike the idea of having the Drake Guns in here, mind you. I'll think about it. Anyway, looks like some Plague Monks are in the melee against the Drake Guns. Gotta be actually fairly wary of that, because the Plague Monks should be able to tear them to shreds if we're not careful. The enemies also brought a Seismic Snare and Warpquake down in the middle of the blob. Keeping our Frostworm in place, but not really damaging it, especially as it went from a Rune of Oath and Steel immediately to Stand Your Ground, so basically a huge amount of bonus melee defense. Which makes it fit right in with the Dowie that it's among, because we've got plenty of melee defense as well. Anyway, while the rest of the army is fighting, King Azrael has sort of rushed forward with the Everguard with great hammers, his own personal guard, the non-shielded ones, and right into the biggest blob of enemies that they could find. Not fighting undead as yet, but he will eventually, and he bonks them just as well as he does the undead, I'm sure. And I definitely had to wait until we got one of the Dwarf Lords with the Silver Horn of Vengeance thing, as well as the fact that this variant has this type of helm that makes it difficult to see their face. Alrighty, well, King Azrael's still in the middle of the fray and not having any trouble together with his Everguard. We are getting a little bit of damage on some of our units now. The Thunderers here being heavily damaged by the Plague Monks because we just don't have sufficient Hammerers to protect them as yet. We do need one more Hammerer unit, or was it 2 more Hammer? Well, I guess one of the Everguard's going to get replaced. So 1 more Hammerer unit and 1 more Frostworm, which should help out a little bit. And the rest of the heroes in here, of course, as well. Possibly an engineer, though I'll think about whether that's actually necessary. Depending on what we do with the range units and whether we need sufficient buffs. We'll probably have enough range units in this particular army to warrant at least 1 engineer, but not 2 like the range-focused or range-heavy armies. Anyway, the enemy artillery piece has been firing at us this entire time, but of course not enough to destroy us. We are kind of in the open here, but that's partly because I wanted it to be that way, as in, it's a lot easier to actually see the battle when you're not under the canopy of those trees there. It's very dark, we could barely see King Azrael, though having, fought the undead for hundreds of years by himself, while being undead himself, in the catacombs and the dwarf tombs beneath the Silver Pinnacle, he's probably used to a similar environment. Minus the lack of underground, but anyway. Storm Vermin is still on the front line and now fighting our Thunderers, and ooh, looks like one of our Frostworms has now taken a decent bit of damage, and it looks like, ooh, one of the enemy Warlock Masters has been caught and is about to be destroyed here, as King Azrael continues leading his personal guard to force said rat to rout. The bounce power is at about 70, maybe 65% in our favor now. And we are slowly but surely advancing through the tide of enemies. I do like that we're very much outnumbered here. Where I can, we got into a point in the campaign where it's better to try to fight sort of 2 enemy armies with 1, at least with our more elite armies. Obviously, there's a couple of armies that are less designed to fight multiple armies at once, but frankly, the dwarfs are generally pretty good for that sort of thing. Where super fragile armies of other factions may not do quite as well at it just by virtue of their fragility. Even the ranged dwarf units are tanky enough, which is a great thing. Alright, those Drake guns putting in some decent work. We got 194 kills on them and 27,000 damage. I like it. Our single flame cannon also firing away and frying whatever rats that are range units that it can. And of course, it was the flame cannon that prevented the enemy death globes and poison winds from dishing out sufficient damage. Otherwise, it looks like with that, the battle is ours. The enemy army will break, and the Silver Hammer's debut sees a pretty darn nice fight. We did take quite a bit of damage on the Thunderers, but once again, we don't yet have enough melee in this army to protect them, and I'm also thinking that either way, we won't have 6 Drake guns in here, because that feels like too many. Although I would like to combine Flammable with whatever you have. You have Burnt. If you combine Burnt and Flammable and Frostfire, that's a what, minus 60% of fire damage resistance? I really should get that Banner of Eternal Flame. Makes sense. Anyway, a flame that burns the undead. -1. Anyway, with that, the battle's done. We will try to chase. At least the Frostworms are fast enough to catch rats, but pretty much everybody else isn't. Alrighty, there we go. A fantastic debut for King Azrael's, debut battle, and he has certainly made his return with a splash. And with 736 kills, his personal guard with the Great Hammerers are going to be the winners of the kill count in this particular battle. Great job from the Frostworms as well. We're hovering between 300 and 500 kills and 25 to 43,000 damage, with so their damage sort of being on par with the hammerers there. It's a nice pairing. Every hammerer unit gets a frostworm with them, and then of course King Azrael gets his personal guard. We're keeping the hammerer variant of the the Everguard without shields with Azrael, and then the shielded ones are going to Ungrim to be his personal guard. Though, with the ever-evolving story that we have with our community canon, I think maybe we'll need calling for names. We need a proper name and a story for King Azrael's personal guard. I'll start you off with this. I think that his personal guard are sworn to silence because King Azrael himself is undead, or he's a white king, but he can't speak. I mean, white kings have agency, but he himself cannot or does not speak. And all of his personal guard are sworn to secrecy because they can't tell really any other dwarf about the fact that this guy's undead, and on top of that, they emulate their king by being silent. So they'll need a name and some nice little tidbits to throw into their story as well, since I guess with this campaign, I'm a little bit more on adding a few units to the roles of our community canon as well, not just Lords and Heroes. Anyway, yeah. Let's see. We are good to capture the place. I hope that the game does not crash. No, okay, we're okay. And enemy killed, and I assume you leveled up at least once after that. Yeah, you did. Just the one level. Honored by Grimnir was the main thing. We'll also need Dowie firepower for the fire units, or possibly Morgrim's favorite for the flame cannons, depending on exactly how we do this particular army. Which still kind of remains to be seen, so maybe we'll hold off on the point for now. as will obviously need adjustments. Not that I didn't enjoy the Drake guns here. They had a little bit more action than they do in Joseph of Zorn's army, just by virtue of the fact that they are, that the Iron Drakes didn't steal the spotlight. So maybe we could do Drake guns and flame cannons and not bother with the Iron Drakes here. We are using them elsewhere in a few places. I just really like the units. I'm always tempted to put more flamethrowers on everything. Can you blame me? No, you can't. Oh, right. Also, before I forget, you can get your next hammer unit. And yeah, we need to complete this Age of Reckoning, if nothing else, to give Azrael his 4th and final Grudge Settler Hammerer. And I gotta remember to transfer the other Everguard so that they can go with Ungrim. Anyway, really nice fight. Let's continue with whoever else still needs to move, and... Was that out of order again? Okay, so... Oh, I like that you're running around here. Yeah, but then again, it's only a basic Skaven slave army, so we don't need to worry about you. Callan Heldauer's fine. Skeggy Threxen. Ah, yes. So you are currently holding these units for Mr. Belagar. You can't reach the enemy settlements anyway, so you can move close towards them, but stay in our own territory for when Belagar comes up, I want to say next turn. Yes, alright, so Belagar will take control of this army next turn, and then he and his ghost pals can start working on these guys. It's a little bit concerning the fact that they border us here, so hopefully they don't immediately have the capability of either jumping here or doing something along those lines. I guess we'll see. A bit of a concern. Anyway, Iron Drakes, I was originally going to bring them to Azrael, but I don't know, we'll see. I'll think about it. We should still make use of them because they're high tier. Rank 7. And they've certainly earned their... ability to stick around by working with Belagar for so long. Anyway, Callan Heldauer, you're fine. Skeggy Threxen, we just moved you. Morgus Death Dealer, who will eventually have a proper army, but for now has what he has. I would like to see how many territories Redmaw has now. 7, eh? So we got 1, and then I assume all of these territories also belong to Redmaw. Not that we necessarily care about those. I really would once again prefer the lowlands to go to other factions. We could move past Carrick-a-Zorn and try to take the Redmaw territories that are down here. I think I checked and it is Redmaw territories down here, is it not? Yeah, Redmaw and Redmaw. Alright, fine. Keep on going down there. I assume we can trespass, sort of. Yes. Can you maybe give us an alliance? Oh, still no. Huh. Holds grudges, resource hoarder, protective. Yeah, these guys have not been wanting to join our faction. And considering they have a landmark, they gotta. It's not a crazy landmark or anything, but I still want it. Principle of the thing and all that. Anyway, keep on moving down here. We could, of course, peace out with the ogres, but can we really leave them to hold territory there? Not so sure about that. Anyway, who else needs to move this turn? Okay, well, obviously the heroes do. Who is Higginbor Brightaxe? Oh, right, you're supposed to join Mr. Malachi. Actually, speaking of joining Mr. Malachi, what do we have in terms of Master Engineers now? Another Wayfarer. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright, you know what? I think we'll middle this guy. 3,000 gold to do it, but we need engineers in lots of armies, and this Wayfarer doesn't do anything except as a tech thief, and so we can't have you right now, so goodbye. Alrighty. Ooh, Scout Silverhorn has most likely found where he needs to go here. Let's see if we can't find any new factions to trade with and get a little bit more cash. Who's out here? Hunts Marshal's Expedition and the Norskins. How's the Hunts Marshal doing? He's got 4 territories, not so great. He's allied with Jade Court and Nagaroth, though, and they're... Well, at the very least the Jade Court. I don't know about allying with Nagaroth, but he is certainly willing to trade, so let's do this and take all his money. Like so. Oh, I guess we'll have to do the Defensive Alliance in order to get Vision. Alright, fair enough. I want Vision of Yanbo anyway. Let's do that. Maybe our trade agreement will allow him to... Come on.
All right.
Allow him to get a little bit more money, and then that'll pay for itself. I don't know if he'll survive, though. All right, what do we have here? Nagaroth does not like us for, you know, reasons. Wait, are Nagaroth one of the factions that we have to wipe out? Or do we not care about the Nagaroth? No, we don't. We want Knights of Kaldor, Vress, and Order of Lore Masters. So Alethanar is able to be let live. And, oh, wait, did we not I did that mostly to get Vision of Yuan Bo, and we didn't get Vision of Yuan Bo, did we? Ah, we did. Okay, never mind. Oh, he's also not in great shape, admittedly, but it is what it is. He will trade, though. And defensive alliance and military access, I guess, and tribute to the High King. Frankly, I should probably stop taking all of these guys' money so that they're not weakened by it, but it's too late. It's been done. That's the principle of the thing, once again. Can't not have them paying tribute, but we do want Yanbo to, well, survive because we want his units to some degree, don't we? Alright, and I assume that didn't give us any vision of other factions that we need to take a look at, but let's take a look. As in factions that we actually want to trade with. Want. You don't even exist as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, Pavona is nearly dead, unfortunately. We could take their money and trade with them until they die, though. I mean, it's a possibility. Oh, they're friendly with Kemmler. Oh, right. Kemmler has a tendency to ally with the various Southern Realms factions. Meaning we maybe don't want to be too friendly with them. As after we presumably attack Kemmler, and considering he's occupying territories that rightfully belong to the Karaz Ankor, that means we'll probably have to kill Kemmler and thereby make them all unfriendly with us. Anyway, tech thieves. Leave some tech. Hey, successes. Good job. And you can have wound, like so. You guys are taking our precious engineer capacity, so you better be doing a good job. Yuri, get gold. I want to see what's going on here with Clan Skittis. I don't know. I don't know what this clan's name is. Spittle. Oh. What did I say? Skittis? There's a clan Skitter. It's kind of close to Spittle. Anyway, what do we have here? Is this a minor settlement? No, it's a major settlement. We'll give them a chance to sally out. I think this army is solid enough that we can get a nice fight out of this. 2 doom wheels, eh? Rat ogres, Hellpit abomination, some artillery, decent little bit here. Alrighty, what did I want to say? Do this. Oh, this seems bugged. But that's alright. I'm willing to bet that they'll sally out either way. Do you need to apply some of your points? Let's invoke Ruins of Grodny. Armor plus 10 and physical resistance plus 5 for everybody. Definitely want to get that Rune of Oath and Steel. Good. And what do you have again? Unyielding. Okay, so you're not one we'll keep for a actual army. Alright, we need to end the turn so that we can get the Imperial units started in terms of recruitment. So let's keep moving. And Kazra and Grimbrow, you're kind of staying here, and then so are you until we've figured out what the heck is going on here. We also do want to wipe out Karak Bufdar, or retake it. Aha! So I see that you're here. We're not at war with these guys technically, so we can move you in ambush? No. Alright, fine. Jump out here to Grungakri. Huh, maybe this territory is owned by these guys after all. I guess we'll find that out as well. Alright. And was that it? If you're staying here, I think that's it for everybody that has to move. I don't think I besieged anything, or if I did... Wait, did we... We besieged with Gromby, and that was this turn, was it not? Yes, it was. Alright, so you can stay there. Let's do building, let's end the turn. So, building. Start with the regular buildings, and... Idol of Zakalug, you have to build your trading depot. We can either keep this ranger outpost, or we could build the deeps here. I guess deeps are generally better built in main settlements because they have 2 extra slots, but we do need additional capacity. Either way, probably not the best place to have the ranger settlement. I mean, it's not a bad place, just this place also generates a lot of money, and I'll think about it. Anyway, this place we were growing on purpose, so we'll actually keep the stone bread bakeries because we want the settlement to be upgraded as fast as we can go. Black Wastes, yes to the mines, at least that one was easy. East Mad Dog Pass, Crookback Mountain. Crooked Mountain. We were going to build the deeps here, though at the cost of a mine. But the deeps is probably worth more anyway. I just gotta remember that we're actually building the deeps here, because, yeah. Anyway. Start to lose track of where we have deeps and where we don't, and there's a bunch of them that we need to upgrade that I don't remember where the ones that we need to upgrade are, you know what I mean? Anyway, let's not build the deep stuff first, build the regular buildings, then we can return to the deeps afterwards as needed. Aha! The high place? Wait, this is Blizzard Peaks, eh? Yeah, okay. Can still build the trading depots here. Oh, and fairly expensively, I might add. Alright, Iron Peaks, we got... No, okay, you're fine. Oh, there were a couple of comments saying that this is not in fact a bug, but that a capstone tech unlocks the... unlocks all of the sort of deeps locations, which I guess if that's the case, then we're free to build in those places. Anyway, Broken Axe Peak. We'll deal with that if we have money left over after building the regular stuff. Why do you have a Stonebread Baker in Skullreach Cavern? Is it because it could be attacked? No, it cannot. Delete. Build mine, and build a trading depot, and then we'll see whether we build deeps or whatever there. Let's go for exotic animal markets. Ooh, everything here is free, so best to stock up on the expensive stuff. Be a little bit. Potential for deeps or capacity here as well, but I guess if we're building multiple deeps in one turn, we may as well make use of it. So build it here. We could build it again in the Bone Gulch as well, in theory. Definitely Goral Mine in the Tower of Karak, and definitely Karaz Ankor. This, yeah, we'll get adjacency use out of this. Shattered Teeth. Karak-a-Zor. I mean, we might recruit stuff here. We can recruit miners for +4, eh? I mean, keep the place for now. These will be replaced by Goral Mines, but they don't necessarily have to be so right now because this place might get attacked by greenskins or whatever, so we'll rebuild those territories. The outermost territories are more likely to be used for capacities than the innermost territories because they need adjacency bonus as a much more critical aspect of them. So yeah. Anyway, keep building those Goral Mines, and I like Kraka-Ravensvag growing, which is why we're keeping the granaries here for now, because we want that expanded Ravenschaftnaz. With all that money and the tradable resources and goods and whatnot. Anyway, Grimfang, I'm sure you need deeps upgrades, but we'll have to wait on those for a little bit. Let's upgrade everything non-deeps first, as I've said. Keep going. Settlements prioritized. Grom Ridge. Yes to the Karaz Ankor, yes to the mine, yes to the upgrade of the settlement, and then yes to the trading depot and the mine as well. And yeah, this place will still be adjacent, so... still a bonus to be acquired, and I guess we can build a trading depot here, since we can't build the deeps because we don't have the upgrade capacity for it. Although, we could cancel... Where was this Grom Peak? If we cancel Rib Peaks right now, we could replace this trading depot with another deep structure. Maybe. Why not? We do have the spare decrees until we upgrade those, so yeah, that was Grom Ridge. Wolfridge is fine. Wolfedge is fine, rather. And Ashrak's Lair, might as well upgrade you. It's going to be a while before you're a functional province. Go for a mine in the Lair of the Troll King, and we're waiting for it to upgrade to Tier 5. Thorshafen will upgrade you as well. And the rest of this, yeah, this place will probably also be used for capacities, because we need them. Ooh, landmark nearly complete. That's nice. You don't... Oh, you do have a Karaz Ankor. We cannot build deeps here, so I guess we'll just go for the trading depot, and then we'll build the landmark when it comes up. Hell Cave, you will need mines. Like so, and we'll keep upgrading that Karaz Ankor as well. Mountains of Hell. This place is... well, we'll still make use of adjacency, so yeah, we'll keep doing that. Let's upgrade you and the settlement, and then obviously both mines. Grimkadrin. Definitely the trading warehouses, Karaz Ankor, and the Goral Mine. Westgate, Iron Mines, Goral Mine, and another landmark. Skarsnik's Lair. Lord Recruit rank +3 faction wide, and a little bit of tiny little bit of weapon strength faction wide. Gotta get all those 8 peaks landmarks up and running. Mount Crag. We haven't really invested in you because we don't really care, but I still think that we should probably build the Karaz Ankor here. Although at the same time, I could build a deeps here as well. Although, you'll definitely get use out of adjacency as well. Although our public order is no longer in, as bad of a situation as it was, maxing it out is also quite nice. Plus, the Karaz Ankor, the vaults generate Oath Gold, and I'd much rather have the Oath Gold generation than the beer generation, because we have other ways to get that, and while we do have other ways to get Oath Gold, we need an insane amount of it, especially if we want to ever outfit our units with elite items. Alright, we'll start with the Karaz Ankor. Frankly, we could actually just delete one of these things and then build the deeps here. We do need additional Thane capacity, so I think we can't delete that yet until we replace it with other buildings, though, so we'll wait on that. Upgrade you, the mine, the Karaz Ankor. Frankly, this place... It'll be adjacent to one territory, won't it? Oh, actually, it'll only be adjacent to Dock's... this is actually then a bad place for Karaz Ankor. Meaning we might actually want to delete it and then replace it with the beer hall place. Yeah, fair enough. If we're not going to get any mileage out of it, why have it there, right? Alright, Dragon Crag, Guzur Mines. Let's go for the Goral Mine. It is a mine. Oakenhammer, you're... You know what, I'm just going to upgrade these so I don't have to look at them. We'll probably delete them eventually, but for now they can generate money and capacity and whatnot. And have better garrisons. Moonstone Mountain, just taken. Take out the Dwarf Keep. You know what, keep the granary for now, because we'll want to immediately upgrade Mount Gunbad. Wait, just out of curiosity though. We got 2. Taking this will upgrade it to 4. Taking this will upgrade it to 5, meaning we want to wait to upgrade this. Because we could immediately upgrade Mount Gunbad to tier 5. Unless I'm mistaken in the way that that works. But I guess we'll find out. What about you? Fort Skehold, you will be traded to the... I was about to say Norskins. Kind of close. The Kislevites, but for now... I mean... I just build it up. It'll be worth more, especially if we need to trade for a territory that we need to take, like a dwarfen territory. You will have a mine, a Goral mine, and then the landmark, so there's nothing else to build there. Let's also build the Goral mine here. Mondidier Pass? Oh, Grungikri. I mean, we could upgrade you, though, at the same time. If we can take Kaferkammaz with tier 5, that would also be nice. Where is this, by the way? It's this one. Oh, so this is a walled main settlement. We'll probably need 2 armies to attack. Alright, so we'll ignore that. North Cape Monolith of Flesh will just transfer to Boris in a bit. As in, not right now. West Giantholm Mountains is fine. Horrocks Gap is... I mean, it is going to be our territory, so yes, we will build the mine there. Just don't collect income. Black Sands, are we keeping this? I'm not sure yet. And once again, it's dependent on how deep into the Darklands we want to go. I really don't, once again, want to hold too much of the Darklands. Yes, they're all green territories, but I don't like to repeat the same stuff. Grungduraturas, as in repeat the same settlement taking. This place is ours. We can, I guess, start on the Scrat mine here. We will get adjacency bonus here if we start going through these territories, but it depends on how many of them fall to Boris anyway, so we'll see, I guess. Dringorackaz, definitely. Goral mine, definitely. Trading depot, and Mork's Club. What are we missing here? Oh, you don't have a Goral mine. Okay, obviously get the Goral mine. Huh, wait. If we cancel you, we might be able to take Kradtom in a tier 5 and immediately upgrade it. Oh no, we take it at tier 4 anyway, because it's at tier 4 itself, not tier 5, meaning I guess no need to do that. Alright, fine. Alright, I guess that's it minus the deeps. So let's take a look at the deeps before we end the turn. You're fine for now, Karagluna, or at the very least you have nothing critical. Karagdraj. Will Draj generate enough money to... Draj will generate probably a decent chunk of change, especially if we put in a few more things there, so you might eventually generate a decent amount of Oath Gold. 2,000 plus, certainly possible. What about the other stuff that's available? We have the Ruined Drinking Halls, which I feel like is terrible. I really don't understand the point of this. I guess if we want additional control, we don't need that. Yeah, definitely build the Underdeep Mine, and you know what? Maybe we'll save the last point for a unstable magma caverns. In fact, maybe we want to build it right now and then just make sure to upgrade it next turn. Improves the rarity, provides some chaos corruption, but we should be able to counteract that decently well. This will be our first one. It will cost 2 High King Decrees and will give none back, though. So we need to keep... well, we need to pay attention to doing that, but we might as well. Just do it. I better not regret this. Don't make me regret this, Karagdraj. Alright, we'll upgrade you for the additional... High King Decrees. Okay, definitely need upgrades here. So, repurpose counting room, yes. Repurpose guild foundries, yes. And once again, we'll go for the ruined drinking halls. And then the underdeep trade routes. Wait. No, not the ruined drinking halls. Ooh, I almost built the wrong thing. That would have been bad. Waste of beer. Underdeep trade routes. And we will again have room for another one of those magma caverns here. Later on, but right now I think we don't want to pay for it, so Underdeep Mine. Alright, Iron Peaks. What do we have here? You can get an Underdeep Trade Routes. I didn't accidentally build a ruined drinking hall somewhere else, did I? I hope I didn't. Well, it's too late now if I did. Mad Dog Kit Pass, you are okay minus the lack of the underdeep trade routes, and you'll leave room for... Yeah, we'll leave space for the other thing. You can get the underdeep trade routes. I'll leave space for another magma cavern, and we still have a little bit in the way of money, meaning we can upgrade some of these to tier 5, or actually build some of those unstable. No, we'll probably want more deeps locations rather than doing that right now, so we'll just leave it to the 1. We can upgrade the grand entrance halls here for the additional decree, and then another grand entrance hall here for the additional decree, just so we don't have to see the please construct this sort of situation. Anyway, I wanted to do a quest battle this turn, but I guess we'll do it next turn because Gromby is busy and very highly likely to be attacked as soon as we end the turn, which is now. Hey, and as suspected, the settlement garrison will be joined by a second army of Tzeentchans to attack Grimbrindle. Should be pretty darn fun. Oh, what the heck is this? Rhythm of Immortality. 3 uses, melee damage, reflection, unbreakable, invulnerable. Can move. Duration is only 30 seconds, but we gotta watch out for that so we don't waste our range ammunition on it. Anyway, this looks pretty fun. And let's quick save it in case of the crash. Paranoid, especially since the episode started with a crash on that island, but go.
At last, to the fight!
Alright, at last to the fight indeed. Unfortunately, of all of our armies, this one can get to the fight faster than anyone, except possibly Fast Thorgrim, but not his entire army, and that's for sure. We move damn quick here at 53 move speed on Iron Breakers, and once again, when we got Ungrim on the field, they'll be moving even faster than that, so should be pretty darn interesting. And I don't know whether we have more techs that will give them even more speed, but we'll see. And just watch the Dwarfs become the fastest infantry on the campaign map. It's hilarious. Granted, not as much in other armies as Grimbrindles, but we'll still have 4 units of super speedy Iron Breakers here, which is just plain fun. Anyway, here we go. Should be a pretty darn interesting fight. We got a pretty darn solid garrison of Tzeentchans arrayed against us, plus the reinforcements arriving. Got like, I don't know, 8 units of Chaos Spawn, tons of exalted pink horrors, and of course lots of flamers on the enemy side as well. Looks like the enemy will lead with a unit of Chaos Knights. We're going to charge forth. We're going to countercharge them with Gromby, who moves in very, very quick and probably hacks down the first knight to get in his way, though it's kind of hard to see amongst all of the flame. Similar to when we fight the rats, this is the clean fire rather than the warp fire of either the rats or the Tzeentchan warp fire of the Tzeentchan factions. That said, the enemy is wise to the fact that we're focusing down these knights, and cleverly, this is a really good move by the AI. Just as everything starts hitting those knights, it pops that Rhythm of Immortality, giving them 30 seconds of invulnerability, meaning all of that alpha strike damage is pretty much wasted. Good job to the AI for doing that. I really like the move. And it's also kind of neat to see these guys just take all of those hits and take no damage. That said, since that's the way the AI chose to do it, we are going to reposition our army and start firing, quite literally, on other things. I'm going to try to burninate as many of those pink horrors, exalted pink horrors I should say, as we can. Our troll hammer torpedoes have switched to those enemy flamers to make sure that we get them off field before they can do anything, and flamers are super fragile, and troll hammer torps are pretty much the perfect thing to knock them out before they can do anything. Alright, though I'm sure they'll get their revenge once we do our Tzeentchan run. Otherwise, the Chaos Spawn have arrived. I believe the immortality thing has ended on the Chaos Knights and they've been obliterated now that our units were finally able to do damage. But the enemy army is very much not out, if only slightly damaged so far. Still plenty of Chaos Spawn where that came from. Tzeentchan Chaos Spawn quite numerous and heading towards us in numbers. Though against at least the Iron Breakers, they're not gonna get through that line. 89 melee defense. I think, yeah, they can hold off the 34 melee attack of the Chaos Spawn. Alrighty, that said, we only have the one unit of Iron Breakers, and the Iron Drakes will have to hold the line themselves if they get charged, which is a distinct possibility. Fire right into those Chaos Spawn. That's not going to stop at least all of them, but the front line got melted, and they're down to about 20% HP. Beautiful. I love these sort of, ooh, nice shot from the engineer bringing one of the Chaos Spawn down, and he cheers after doing it, too. Oh, that's fantastic. That was a great shot. Anyway, absolutely love the sort of fearless flamethrowers here that stood in the face of the charge of all those Chaos Spawn and obliterated them. Otherwise, the bounce power has shifted to about 70% in our favor. The enemy main line has failed to reach us, though the reinforcements are now very much on the way. About to hit our rear lines, so we're going to turn to try to deal with those Forest Goblin Spider Riders? Reinforcements, I guess. Azag's guys, eh? Maybe the Tzeentchans just tricked them into thinking that they're helping. Alright, and the Spider Riders will not achieve too much here, and we'll book it on out of there. But there's more enemies moving in once again, and if it isn't more Chaos Spawn, go figure. I do believe Grimbrindle has also run out way ahead of his army and has defeated the enemy cultist. The enemy also had an iridescent horror, unless I'm mistaken, but said iridescent horror was killed off by our air force. Of course, a mere cultist will stand up. He moves so fast. Mere cultist stands no chance against Gromby and is already going to run out of there while we try to deal with the newly arriving Chaos Spawn. Gonna have to be careful firing over the heads of our Longbeards. Alright, I see this Longbeard at least, you know what, probably every single Longbeard's hair has been burned off at this point, which makes sense. None of them here have hair. But with fire units firing over your heads the entire time, I guess that's what happens. Or was that the Iron Breakers? No, that was the Longbeards. Alright. And the two units of Chaos Spawn are out, and the reinforcing army realizes, having seen the first army destroyed and the Chaos Spawn that charged in follow suit, that, you know, no dice, that's not going to happen. Going to try to burninate the last of the enemy exalted pink horrors that are still on field. They are, of course, melting away, and we're just going to help them along a little bit as we fire through those trees. Probably not going to land a lot of shots like that, but, you know, it's fine. We can always help out with a few Trollhammer torpedoes. Oh, I love seeing those fly in when there's a bunch of them, at least 2 units doing that at once. It's almost like I don't know, like a flight of insects or something like that. Pretty neat. Anyway, oh, would you look at that? Gromby has caught up to these guys to speed them on their way as well. Actually, in retrospect, what I probably should have done is sent Gromby to chase down the reinforcing army's lord. And he doesn't even need to look at them as they melt away. Anyway, with that, the battle's ours. The enemy army will run. We'll do our best to get whatever ones we can, though unfortunately many of them were close to the edge of the map, and minus this exalted hero, or whatever that was, a couple of them will get away. Alrighty, another really cool fight. 2 really cool fights in the start of this episode. I'm enjoying myself immensely, and Grimbrindle getting attacked from various sides with those Tzeentchans, who admittedly are probably a pretty solid counter to his army to a decent degree, is pretty neat. Plus they've got access to plenty of their own flamers as well, though admittedly at the same time we have fire resistance plenty in this army, so kind of a neat matchup, I gotta say. And it's also neat to add Tzeentch to the mix of the various factions that we've been fighting. Anyway, close victory. We're gonna occupy the place. We have no intention of keeping it, but it'll be worth a lot to our Kislevites friends.
Talk then, but I make.
And, I was not expecting this army to actually attack, but I guess it's another battle for the Grudge Settler army, plus the little pile of units that we've got in the garrison here. I guess this is the last desperate attempt of Skullcrag to survive, as they have 1 settlement remaining, and this is their last army as well. And, well, let's just say it's about to go.
settle some grudges!
Ooh, and we've got a choke point battle. That alone is going to make this pretty darn interesting. Rather than deploying near our reinforcements, we're going to deploy to cover the entire choke point against the enemy stack and a half or whatever. The units of this army, the garrison, will have to desperately hold back the green tide until the reinforcements have arrived. They probably know that a throng is being gathered by the Lord of the nearest Karak, and they just know that they have to hold until they arrive on field. I can hear the speeches made by the Thane or whoever is holding ground here. Very, very nice. Anyway, we'll see it in action shortly. I'm going to speed it up, and it looks like the enemy's going to wait for the war reinforcements. That'll give us a little bit more time for the rest of our units to make it on field, but they're going to be much slower to reach the lines than the enemy is. So once again, we're going to have to hold the enemy back. Going to start off with a little bit of a range exchange as the enemy Forest Goblin, Spider, Rider, Archers, mouthful, fire away at our front lines while the Quarrelers fire back. Over on the right flank, we got Boar Boys charging in. And against Dwarf Warriors on the right flank, as the main enemy host will be moving on the left flank, and that's where we positioned our units of Longbeards instead. And the Dwarf Warriors stand no chance against the Pump Wagons in terms of holding them back, and that's with... Wait, were the Dwarf Warriors not in... Am I crazy, or did they not have Shield Wall up and running? Can you use it out of... Oh, okay, well, I guess the Shield Wall breaks once they... Wait, so Shield Wall breaks once the enemy hits you in melee? Then what is the point of the plus 100% mass, is my question. What does the mass do then, if the shield wall stops? Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter, just curious. Well, either way, they were in shield wall, apparently they're not anymore, and either way, the pump wagons just rode right through those dwarf warriors. But once again, they're going to have to do their best to hold the enemy back, and same thing here. Longbeards, Quarrelers now in the fight, as well as the Trolls and the Squigs have charged on through, and the little army of garrison units is desperately trying to hold the enemy back. The reinforcements are still very much on the way. First of our units have arrived in the form of a Quarrelers with great weapons to lay down a little bit of cover fire, and the Longbeards and the Hammerers are going to come in and reinforce. Great job to this little army for holding, and holding they still are. The Slayers have also arrived, but they ran right past the left flank, trusting in the garrison to hold, and instead heading for the Snotling Pump Wagons and Orc Boar Boy Biggins over on the right flank instead. Alright, but the most important thing is when the Iron Drakes will get here, as flamethrowers will add a lot to this dynamic, at least from our perspective. First of our units have arrived in the form of a Longbeard unit, which will start cutting down those Boar Boys, who actually want no part of that, and will back off just as the enemy activates the Wa. Now, you may be able to run from Longbeards, but I'm not so sure that you can run from the flames of the Iron Drakes. And there we go, the first of the enemy units will feel the wrath of our tech. We are still being very much mobbed by the blobs of enemies. But that's alright, that's the first unit of Iron Drakes. The second and third are about to move in and start firing away as well. There they are. And let's go for round two. There we go, right in the midst of that entire blob. Fantastic. Massive damage to the Gobos, firing over the heads of our brave defenders, our brave garrison here. A lot of them very severely damaged now, and still taking arrows from all of those enemy range units, which admittedly are now also taking hits back from our artillery. The enemy Orc War Boss in the center of all this, having managed to rack up 29 Dowie kills. Well, you have to die now, that's for sure. And he's down to half HP, steady, but how long will he remain steady for, especially as this choke point has turned into a absolute kill box, kill zone, whatever. It's not pleasant for the greenskins is what I'm getting at. Most of the Gobos are now running away, and the flames keep dropping among them, obliterating those poor goblins. Alright, and the battle shifts to 90% in our favor. Just a couple more single entities to kill off, with, of course, us having to kill off that war boss after bringing down so many of the garrison units. And whatever we can do to bring down whatever single entities as well. And tries to go after that artillery piece, but it looks like he's broken and done. The right flank was also defended. The enemy tried to loop around there with those units of fast movers, and the slayers were appropriately sent there to deal with it. And just to make sure, Mr. Gouger Face Smasher, I like the name, don't get me wrong, will be focused down by the Quarrelers, who with one more volley should be bringing him down. Should be bringing him down. Should be, come on, man. Oh, don't tell me, no, don't survive with 18 HP. Okay, there it goes. Oh, wow, I don't know how they managed to take off his head with quarrels. That seemed a little bit of a mismatch in terms of animation, but still amusing, nonetheless. And we're gonna make sure the other single entities don't escape, as well as the flames focus down that poor goblin big boss, who appears to be unable to move. Yeah, we saw this. Oh, and there we go. Absolutely obliterated. Yeah, we've seen the stopping power of those Iron Drakes as well, which apparently helps when enemy units are running, because it staggers units as well. Very nice. Alright, there we go, another really, really cool fight. I mean, I thought that it was a bad portent, a bad omen when we got a crash in the first, like, 2 minutes of this particular episode, but then we got 3 battles in a row that were just such interesting setups and just generally fantastic fights that you could say it leaves me short of breath. It's, yeah, I'm really enjoying this one. Iron Drakes, when they arrived, the enemy horde, held back by the brave defenders of the garrison, were fried as they were blobbed up, ready for this, and they even vastly outdid the damage of the grudge throwers, though admittedly those guys started firing through the woods in those territories, which, you know, to some degree hampered their efforts. I'm gonna say we take the Oath Gold. It's 400, it's quite a bit. Ah, there it is. This was eventually bound to happen, and I was hoping we'd have a few more turns before the Steel Fist Reavers were to attack the Rusin Revivalists. Unfortunately, this means we have to immediately move northward to deal with them, because they'll take territory, undefended territory that is up there, if we don't. Yep, well, it is what it is. Maybe Malachi... Well, Malachi was originally going to go up there, but he was also busy. Oh well, gotta do it. Alright, ally mission aborted. Confederation. Ah, the Western Provinces confederated the Darklands bandits. Oh, that's quite interesting. We've got even more sort of Western Provinces territories nearby, huh? Lost a trading partner to it, but oh well, not a huge deal. At least I hope not. Dwarf Tattooist for Finn. You know, just keep that until we get that to somebody else. Ready for duty, Belagar. Yes. Technology research to reload artillery. More importantly, now that that's researched, we get the ancestral tombs. Character experience gain 10% is already quite nice. Free ancestral shield bearers, summoning ghost presumably ability for everybody around. And then of course that'll unlock the capstone things, which we've been hankering for. Now, Finn, I would like you to chase this army down if you're capable of doing so, just because this guy, well, it's better not to take additional unnecessary damage with you. And, oh, right, you can't run, so we'll quick save and then we'll auto-resolve. And we'll keep waiting for a decent engineer for this guy. Alright, and what? Why would the cannons... Okay. Why would the Thunderers that are the longer range Thunderers instead of the melee fighting Thunderers be damaged? And the same with the game. What the heck, man? Anyway, I guess we'll take the heal because we need to move forward towards the Crad Tom in there. Anyway, Troll Slayer, nice pickup, I guess. And I'm going to assume that you can reach Crad Tom over the course of the next turn. So we'll do here. We'll move you in as well. And we'll salt it together. before splitting off.
For war, no.
Like so. And you know what, maybe even move closer just in case the one can't attack. You can breach those walls with your cannons. Also, let's... yes, you're gonna upgrade to tier 5. Perfect. Another Wayfarer. Alright, I'm gonna delete you. And hopefully get one with a useful trait for armies. And then, if it keeps happening, I'm just gonna get annoyed and just start using those traits as well, because, you know, who cares. Anyway, you. Thorgrim. Magor-Khan. Most likely will assault it. And it looks like a pretty fun fight, so we will fight this, but we will do so after we move everybody else around. And we will... wait. Yeah, this was the place that I checked that we wouldn't be able to get the growth up to a place that we'd like. But oh well, not a big deal. Anyway, Joseph of Zorn. You are in range to now finally wipe out the greenskins here. I guess you're going to besiege them as well. But these ones you will allow to sally out rather than fighting it in a settlement, because it won't be a working cinematic battle. And ooh, they'll definitely sally out. All right. Good for them. We should also upgrade you. I think you've got... yeah, you got 2 points to apply. Why not apply them? Why not apply yourself, Joseph? I mean, damn. Let's see, what do we have here in terms of what you need? You have everything by the looks of it, so we're free to start making you a stronger fighter. It's not super necessary, though. I think we'll get obstinacy first to get the vigor loss reduction on everybody. You got the 1 point. Let's max out we are the elite. You engineers, you're both saving for point... yes, you're both saving for rank 20, so we'll ignore you, but the Thane we will not. Get you esteemed combatants, since we're gonna get attacked. Lovely. That'll help out. Next up, what do we got after you? Thorgrim has moved, but is waiting for his fight. Ulfar Norgrimling, you will need to keep... alright. Can't jump over the mountains yet, so just go into Karaz-a-Karak for the turn. Speaking of Karaz-a-Karak, at last we have reached tier 5, which we can build for free. And I guess that means we'll be able to get rid of the Baker's Guild Hall. I guess we could do that after this is nearly complete, because the Baker's Guild Hall will need to be replaced with our first ancestral shrine, and that'll of course be the Shrine of Grugni for the upkeep reduction faction-wide. Keep combining that with the other upkeep reductions that we have. Ulfar Norgrimling, that's you, right? Yes. Snorri Morgrimmel, you are also delivering troops, and like 2 dwarfs who pass in the day, you will pass right by Vikram, who is going to deliver the last of the units that need to be in Thorgrim's army. Alright, and he is out of order, I will admit, but too late to do anything about it now. Grimley, you still need an engineer, and you also need to make your way up here. Honestly, we're not yet at war with these guys. Oh, frickin'... Boris keeps advancing this way, huh? I guess that army didn't get killed by these guys' main armies, eh? Keep taking mountain territories. Hey, Malachi, are you able to reach Shaman Darek so that we can at least trade it away? Yes, you are. Alright, so you're gonna take that, rather than allow Boris to do it, and then it'll be worth decent amounts to Boris, hopefully. And... oh, that's a nice army. What is this? We got 4 Marauder champions, we got trolls, we got lots of good stuff. I like it a lot. Is this a walled settlement, I take it? I don't think so. I take it it's a minor settlement battle? Unwalled settlement battle, yeah. Well. Alright, well, we are going to fight this. You can sit there for a bit until we figure out who else needs to move and do stuff, and then we'll jump on in. Grimly, alright, I was considering this. If Malachi takes that, he'll immediately start moving northward towards the Steel Fist Reavers. I think we may need to send Grimly there for a turn or two, because otherwise we'll lose territories here that we've started to invest in, because these guys are probably on the approach. Dimahar, the Cleaver, will probably march down to Winterpire, which can't defend itself, but it's only a single territory that we haven't invested in, so not a big deal. We'll also need to send Gromby down there. Actually, speaking of Gromby, I wanted to do your quest battle, but... that's a question. Will you be able to? How many territories does Sorthoriel have? Is it just these 2? Yes, so after you take these, you'll be able to move northward, and obviously transfer them, trade them, etc. We can trade Svedora to the Ice Court. For nothing, I guess. It doesn't really matter. I wanted to do his quest battle, but... I think it's more of a priority that we take Kazarla. I guess if it depends on if we can reach Fort Strogoff in one bound. Okay, so let's do this. You're going to move to Kagan. You're going to wipe him out because he's in march stance after having run away after his embarrassing defeat by Gromby and his attempt to protect his capital. Sartorial's not back, but it hardly matters since he doesn't have a... he doesn't have... This better not damage our army. No, doesn't have a... Gyrocopter for the airmen? Good. Trait, defeat trait. That's what I was trying to say before everything confused me. Alright, and this, I think it's also not worth fighting. I mean, it's just Forsaken and piles of horrors. We just fought an army that was significantly better than this, and they still had no chance at resolve. That'll damage us. And we'll occupy. Though, are we so damaged that we cannot fight a quest battle, is the question. It is Grimbrindle's... Oh, next turn we'll unlock the Rune Helm of Zufbar. We still have the Cloak of Alea, which we could do at, you know, a third of our strength, which might make the battle more interesting. I'll think about it. It's certainly something I wanted to do, and I did kind of promise a quest battle a day, / an episode. Alright, Finn, I already moved you? Oh, right, I already moved you, yes. Rearguard Asgal doesn't need to be touched. Thor Ironbrow, you need to keep an eye on the greenskins, but it looks like these guys are doing okay. And is this a rebel? You sack rebels. Oh, you're gonna lose this Lost Kurgan. No, you're not. Never mind, we're fine. You should, in theory, capture the Trails of Hashut, though I don't like the fact that it's a red territory, but it is what it is. We should also claim Gulgrog's Monolith if we want this entire territory for ourselves. Actually, speaking of this territory, build the Thane capacity, build the Engineer capacity, and build the Ranger capacity. This is not going to be a money-making or otherwise territory. You will then... What's the likelihood that they ambush you? Low? Oh. We suffer attrition here, so we have to travel like this anyway. Also, before I forget, do you have any more? Grudge Settler? No. Quarrelers? No. We have a Flame Cannon, an Iron Drake, and a Longbeard. We know where the Longbeard is going, into Grimly's army, to join the ranks of his grumbling guard. But alas, we don't have the capacity as available as yet. But anyway, Thoric Ironbrow, that was you. Yes, okay. Vikram Burdrick has moved. Gautry Holdfast is holding fast. Brugard is guarding the brews. Though, ooh, wait, the turn ended, meaning... Reichland. Yes, alright. The Armored Caravan, meaning we will have no other artillery to use, meaning we'll do War Wagons Mortars, and we'll do War Wagons Regular. We won't be able to afford both of them from Reichland. We could do Visenland and Nuln, though there is other stuff that we could potentially get from them. I did want the Outriders, with grenade launchers and without, because they have that suppression. I wanted that slowdown army concept as well. Alright, let's try Reichland. Maybe in the 2 turns that it takes, we'll be able to get the last war wagon up and running, especially if we have a mission. Alright, that'll be Joseph Bugman's beer caravan that will travel the Empire, righting wrongs and selling beer and giving us money. Kill Sarthoriel. Oh, he is back. Cute. I guess he's going to try to retake Fort Skehold, but if we transfer it, that won't be an issue. Waldekir Helsnikt, I guess we're still going to wipe out this turn, so we might as well accept this mission. Alright, and the rest of that is good. Oh, also, before I forget again... Are we able to recruit a Frostworm? Yes, we are. Get the Frostworm. Beautiful. Alright, that's the 4th Frostworm for King Azrael. Speaking of... No, okay, I was about to say speaking of King Azrael, but he will move once the Order has found him. Okay, not Gautry. Dwinbar. Okay, you're next. You are proceeding southward to the Skaven. Jump down here. I don't think they'll declare war on us immediately, and... Huh, they suffer mountain pass attrition? Interesting. First Pit will most likely have a decent garrison, plus a second army, so it'll be 3 stacks against this army, which is... Well, it's gonna be very interesting. I guess we'll go for Master Rune of Immolation again, though I do kind of like the Master Rune of Flight. The Master Rune of Immolation also kind of lends itself well to being a sort of a mixed type of damage dealer, as in a little bit of range damage, a little bit of melee damage. Yeah, alright. Rune of Immolation. Explosion around the caster and all that. Anyway, Herok Furrowbrow. You... I like the name, though, Furrowbrow. You can grab... Okay, this doesn't help against Skaven, unfortunately. Army of one, Slayer of many, rather. I guess we'll take that just for the worthy foe passive. The other traits aren't as worthwhile, are they? Yeah, fear is good against the Skaven. We could get you a little bit of bonus speed, we could get you resolute. Frankly, Blade Shield is probably more worthwhile, though. You know, it's 72 melee defense. You're not doing too bad yourself, bud. Yeah, so you guys stay there. Oh, let's upgrade the engineer. And we still need to get a second freaking engineer in your army as well. Okay, you're gonna try to move towards We Are the Elite to start buffing up the range damage even further. Could get Barrack Power Handshake, but it does depend on whether you're gonna go on a gyrocopter later or not. We have Rune of Wrath and Ruin, we have Hardened Armor, we could get We Are the Elite, which will, yeah, it'll benefit more units. More armor, please. Alright, like so. And Thane. I guess we already have Esteemed Combatant maxed out. We could get We Are the Elite. Max out both the melee and the missile damage of the hybrid army. I'm excited to see how they function with their increased range. They're gonna need it against the Skaven, because we'll be encountering a lot of those slingers. And, yeah, we'll see. These guys aren't that missile resistant after all. In fact, they have none. Could really use a war drum in this army. But anyway, Rearguard Baruch. Okay, it obviously doesn't need to move. Alaric Ranulfson. Ranald is the god of luck of the Empire. I don't know why I invoked his name. And, ooh, another fight. Oh, man, we got like 3 potential fights here. Is this a minor settlement? Ooh, and it's worth... Wait. We should take King's Way first, and then follow by taking Mount Gunbad, and hopefully be able to get it at tier 5. And immediately upgrade it. May get the Brightstone Mine at tier 3, but we should be able to make this into a massive money-making territory, so that's great. Although our money is in decent shape at this point. Things are still expensive, but we're getting there. Anyway, okay, let's get out of the order for a second and start doing battles, because I'm going to forget who needs to fight. And Thorgrim, you're going to lead. You do have, I think, 1 or 2 points to apply, but that's not a big enough deal for us to be concerned with right now. So let's quick save. And let's jump on in, wipe this faction out who foolishly declared war on us, and maybe even take the walls by storm, as this is a walled settlement. I'm going to wait. It's a... Yeah, okay. No defensive structure, so we can fight it cinematically. Beautiful. Go. Alrighty, here we go. Thorgrim hasn't had the opportunity to do a lot of these sieges, partly because it's been somewhat unnecessary, but we're certainly going to enjoy this one. We don't have artillery to bring down those walls, and so we'll take those walls by storm. Instead, zombies, a Banshee, a Vampirus, and I think the Vampire Lord's down here somewhere. Oh, in fact, there's 2 vampires up here, and a Lord down there. Well, that'll be something for perhaps Gotrek and Felix to do. In the meantime, we gotta establish air superiority fast as we can, so the first target will be that enemy Terrorgeist who gets knocked down pretty much immediately. Thorgrim's Thundercloud are ready to move forward and into the enemy settlement, now that the enemy can do nothing, absolutely nothing about it. And drop a few bombs as it goes over the enemy guardhouse. And a pretty hopeless situation for the zombies, etc. At least they don't feel fear, because they very much would if they were still alive. You gotta love beginning a siege with an airship just sailing over the walls. It's glorious. In the meantime, it's time to take the walls as well. We are going to send Gotrek and Felix up first, and then of course the Hammerers to help out as well. See if they can accomplish some stuff up here. Maybe get some nice duels going. Banshee has backed away, but the Vampirus has sighted Gotrek and moved on in. And the Banshee has arrived as well. And the Vampirus down, loses her head, going to move onward towards the Banshee now. Who is brought down rather quickly as well. There is another vampire up here fighting the Hammerers and trying to hold them off from preventing them from establishing a beachhead, but similarly to the first 2 heroes, I'd wager Gotrek and Felix should be able to get through that HP extremely quickly. And down goes another. Alright, and another headless vampire, and about to be a third, as well as the enemy vampire lord has moved up here. Having seen the deaths of his thralls, has joined the battle himself. But perhaps this is a poorly thought out plan, as he now faces off against Gotrek and Felix while surrounded by a ring of hammers and also loses his head. Fantastic. Alright, and these guys absolutely getting a chance to shine in this particular army. In the meantime, Thorgrim has broken through the gate, or at least to some degree. And while the Graveguard and the Crypt Horrors are holding him off, I'm not so sure that they have any hopes of really doing anything to him. He's got 47 kills to his name, and is slowly but surely working on the enemies nearby. Of course, our air units are causing quite a bit of havoc in the enemy settlement, but we're not directly targeting them. They're mostly just sort of flying around, hovering around, doing whatever, while our melee units get some of that good old-fashioned fighting in. And well, if it isn't an enemy necromancer, not really a challenge for Gotrek, but he'll chase him down as well. Lots of heroes killed in this manner. Anyway, our hammerers have climbed the ladders and gone down the walls after going up, and are now working away at those enemy Graveguard. Although, I do like the yellow color. Yeah, I do like the yellow color scheme like this. It certainly makes it very visible as to who's fighting who. Alright, one last Crypt Core brought down by Thorgrim. Perfect. And what the heck is that shadow? That's not the airship's shadow, is it? I don't know what that is. Is it a banner? Oh, it's this banner, isn't it? Oh, I didn't know these things cast shadow. I thought this was just a UI element. It looks like a UI element, but anyway. Anyway, let's make sure that the rest of these Graveguard and Skeleton Spears are brought down, which should be absolutely no issue for the Hammerers. Especially against the sword and board variant, which the enemy has in droves, but doesn't have enough armor piercing to really threaten the hammers. Down they go. Let's see, Gotrek and Felix, or mostly Gotrek in that particular case, killed off the enemy necromancer. The balance of power has shifted to about 90% in our favor, and it's just a matter of time until we bring down the last of what remains. These two are still fighting. Gotrek now surrounded by enemy Graveguard with great weapons this time, though I'd wager all that armor piercing of theirs is wasted on the Slayer. Though later on we're going to get some various runes of armor, and we're going to put them on Gotrek and Snorri and all the and Garagrim and all the Slayer heroes essentially, because it amuses me. I guess being a bad Slayer is good for the kingdom, so deal with it. Alright, we're just letting them fight a little bit since this battle turned out to be Gotrek and Felix's show, with taking all of those heroes out on top of the walls. Might as well enjoy themselves some Graveguard as well. And though it looks like the unit is now disintegrating, and a couple more hits and the unit is done for. Balance of power 95% in our favor, and I think the only units that remain are melting away as we have reached critical mass. So we can speed it up, chase them down, and the battle will be ours. I presume nobody else is willing to even attempt to fight. Surprisingly, the Blood Knights, I think this was a unit of Blood Knights, I purposely didn't target them with our air units, but they decided to sit back and not even engage while the other undead fought. Perhaps the Blood Knights, having seen what happened and been too smart to actually waste their time doing that. Anyway, there we go with that. The battle's ours. Close victory apparently, though I can't imagine why the AI possibly thinks this was anything like a close victory. It's not like we even expended a lot of ammunition. We have no mana to expend. Our ammunition was fine because our engineers just constantly reset it. Why would this have been a close victory? That's the AI for you. Alright, there we go. A very, very fun fight, that one. Gotrek and Felix up on top of those walls certainly had their chance to shine, killing off 3 vampires and 1 banshee up there, which was just great. And, Is it the 50% bug? Is it the level 50 bug, or did he actually level? It says rank 39, but it might have actually leveled him to 50. I'm not entirely sure. I guess we're about to find out. He did get a decent bit of XP, but not that much. Anyway, a Ranger standard for us. Not that this army really needs it. Although, I mean, if we get enough slots, we'd give a rune or a banner to a banner rune or a banner to every single unit. Anyway, 174 kills on this unit of Everguard, Mountain Breakers, Sons of Draj. Grund didn't do as much comparatively. The aerial units did okay. Thorgrim's Thundercloud did fantastic, but I think that battle went to the fighting up on the walls against the enemy heroes, which was pretty darn fun. Plus, the Runesmiths, Runes of Wrath and Ruin, 16 and 23k damage. They don't get the chance to shine with the damaging runes a lot, so I was pretty happy about that one. Anyway, we'll occupy the place, so that should have also been a lot of... it's gonna crash. Meaning I have to fight that battle again, but it is what it is. I quick saved it right before, so we'll be right back after I deal with this. Crash or not, I'm so happy about the fight and generally the fights throughout this episode that I'm not even mad. All right, let's try that again. Manually refought that, and still get the level 50 bug, but do we get the crash? We do not. All right. We've taken it this time, and is he actually level 50? No, he's level 40, so yeah, it's just the visual bug. It's the same bug that's been around since, I want to say, Total Warhammer 2. It's been around for a long time, maybe even 1. Keeper of the Mountain? No, it's probably not been around since 1. But anyway, you are going to go into Masters of Stone and Steel, well, actually, wait. We can still build stuff here for free. Cancel this. Yes, Engineer's Capacity. Good. Don't keep the Thane building. And this will still give us a benefit of adjacency. Not as much as adjacency as other territories, but admittedly I still think that we should make use of it. So, we'll go for the trading depot. We will go for the... Well, we'll obviously want to build the deeps here, but do we want to do it right now, or do we want to save for this? It's actually a pretty decent spot for the deeps. It's not like it's taking other slots. Yeah, fine, do it. With Thorgrim's reductions, it's still super cheap here as well. So immediate deeps is immediate. You can immediately switch to... honestly, 10% construction cost reduction isn't much, but the place isn't also generating a lot of money right now either. So we'll start with Masters, and then we'll swap it out to High King's Tribute later on. I think over 2,000 gold... In those locations that get over 2,000 gold, then we immediately and just switch it, which will be a little bit anyway. Gromby, I still want to potentially fight with you. I think we had at least one other place where we're besieging something, although damn me if I remember where now. We'll find it, not to worry. Let's move everybody else around, figure this out. Gautry Holdfast, it wasn't you, obviously. Malachi, yes, you're one of them, and then there was another one, plus Gromby, but let's move everybody else around in order first. Alaric Ranulfson, you're the other one. Okay, so I just gotta remember that it's Slayers that gotta fight, plus Gromby. Callan Helldauer, you're fine. Elmador Redax. You guys are supposed to go to Moonstone, or from Moonstone Mountain to Mount Gunbat, and you're still gonna do that. But we need to capture Kingsway first to hopefully be able to upgrade Gunbat to tier 5. So you can besiege the place, you can reinforce said besiegement. Like, I don't know, an encamp stance, I guess, for the bonus traits or whatever. Alright, and I was building the... Okay, yeah, I just wanted to check that I managed to do that before the crash, and then it didn't have to be redone. Anyway, you guys will take Mount Gunbat. Frankly, I could probably just auto-resolve it if I feel like it. I'll think about it. And this should probably be more fun because it's the Slayers against 2 full stacks. But anyway, we'll see. Let's move everybody else around, and then we'll figure out what we need to still do. Rearguard, Alaric, you're good where you are. Callan is fine. I know I checked him already. Skeggy Threxen. You... Oh, right. You are what? You're vengeful, so you will actually be useful later on, but for now, we can reset you and replace you with Belgar. Belgar, there you are. I don't know why the legendary lords aren't at the top, as if we'd ever, you know, pick a non-legendary lord over a legendary lord. Belgar, immediately, rally the holds, diplomatic relations with dwarfs. I mean, I guess it might help us with confederating Karak-Azorn. We have leadership when fighting against greenskins, ogres, and Skaven, which will help us at reclaiming the realms, but generally speaking, reclaiming the Badlands. Ancestral guidance, more Thane capacity, physical resistance, and cooldown reduction to Patriarch faction, right? Oh, all provinces Thane recruitment unlocked. That would have been really useful for Mr. Malachi, who was looking to get one. Anyway, let's get the unit mass increase and charge bonus, and then lastly, experience gain for units. That'll help them become bugmans. Construction cost -50 for province, capital, settlement buildings, faction-wide. Are you serious? Oh, I didn't know that he had this. Wow, okay, that's actually great. Maybe we should have actually confederated him as the very first confed. 50% construction cost for all main settlements would have changed up the... the dynamic quite a bit. Go figure. Alright, well, that's really good for Pelagar. And I left you to last. Rude Marcher, Inspiring Presence, Mastercrafted Weapon, Rune Warded Armor, or of Endurance. Definitely Filth Slayers for Greenskins and Skaven and Ogre fighting. That's most of your points. We could get the last 3 points in Obstinacy, but I'm inclined to say we want to upgrade the Rangers via Thunderer first. There isn't a Rangerer trait. Anyway, Thunderer it is. Your heroes, I believe, I mean, they can wait. Okay, so technically speaking, we should attack this. But do we want to do it right now? I really wish we had... If we go into a defensive alliance with this army, we might gain vision from them. It might be useful enough so that we can see what's going on here and spot where the armies of this faction are. I hope I don't come to regret this. I mean, it's not like we were going to randomly wipe these guys out, but, you know. As long as they don't try to take Berkvar. Let's see what we're looking at here. Okay, game, you better not have crashed on that. Okay, no, we're okay. Did that give us vision? Where is... Okay, well, I see that there's no army at Iron Rock, and there's no army at Eye of Arok. Iron Rock, Eye of Arok. They are worth a fair bit of grudges, though, which is nice. Ugh, we're only at 10% 3 turns in. Good lord. This is gonna be a toughie. Anyway, I guess we've no choice but to move towards Hordebane Forest. What's the, wait. Damn it, cancel this. I just want to see. What's the likelihood that this is upgradable to tier 5 after this? If this goes to 3... No, it'll only go to 2. Meaning this will go up to 4. I might have checked it in this province before and cancelled it, but, well, these things are free now, so it's not like that matters that much. Yeah, so this will go up to 2, and then as soon as we take Hordebane, it'll go up to 4, so it doesn't matter. Just wasted some growth, but whatever. It would have been worth it if it went up to tier 5. Actually, speaking of tier 5, are we there yet? Now, 2 more turns at the Lair of the Troll King. Might as well build stuff here while we're at it. Like so. So yeah, basically all of our... I'm pretty sure every single one of our capital buildings is free now. Pelagar. I love it. Anyway, I did say 1 quest battle per episode, and that means, damaged though he is, Grumbrindle will be fighting his. Let's do his level ups and then let's jump on in. Ooh, you get your rune now. Hello. Rune of Fire gives us explosive damage, missile damage, and weapon damage. So basically a plus 25% increase to damage, but at the cost of everybody being imbued with flaming attacks, which we don't necessarily want. I mean, it's not the... Rune of Courage gives us even more speed for the army, plus Unbreakable, which is fine with this army, while speedy is not a super mobile army. Rune of Reloading. Base weapon damage plus 5 and reload skill plus 25. Yes, I think that's the one we'll take, because the base weapon damage is great for, well, everybody. It's not like the Longbeards or the Ironbreakers hit very hard. In melee, really neither do the Iron Drakes, and the reload will help everybody. Assuming that we're not at max reload anyway. Granted, this won't do too much for Grumbrindle himself, whereas... Well, this will do something for him, but I think he'd buff the army. Seems like something Gromby would do. We got 3 points remaining. We could go straight into Ancient Acumen instead of buffing up the others, because we do have Fire and Fury, though at the same time, all of these guys are rank 7 now, so they would get advantages out of Dowie Firepower, and that's more reload. Yeah, fine. I do like the recruit ranks, don't get me wrong, but I want to max out his arm, especially since we're fighting now. We'll start with Tradition and Innovation, I think, rather than Grimnir's Heirs, because we only do have the 1 unit of Ironbreakers right now, so Tradition and Innovation for the Flyers. And I wonder if you'll be able to finally level up to become Gromby's Barge. what are we looking at here? We have a lot of elites, so I guess we can get We Are the Elite. Yeah, let's do it. A little bit more armor. It's not much, but every little bit helps, especially as those guys are forced into melee a lot. Spoils for you? No, not that the gold matters as much as it once did. Guess we could buff the charge bonus for Gromby, although, no, you know what, let's start with We Are the Elite. Thanes, done, and now we've got the NGs. The Requisition, maybe? We could get more speed for them as well. And then there's We Are the Elite. This army isn't super likely to run out of armor, so ammunition, so I'm gonna say We Are the Elite might actually be more critical. We also are missing Zipbar 42 pounders, but whatever. You can also do the same thing, We Are the Elite, and I guess 1 point in Requisition as well. I think that's everything, yes. Alright, now let's do your quest. Let's see how you handle it with about 2/3 of your army instead of the full amount. Cloak of Leia. Right? That was yours? Yes. Let's give this a read and let's jump on in. An undead host has been discovered making its way into the roots of the mountains. The creatures were moving under a devious magical veil that left even Valea blind to their whereabouts. So, she tasks the white dwarf with adding a new rune to her cloak to pierce this deceit. The rune is now in place and the location of the undead has been revealed. Although the cloak has been drained of its usual properties, they will no doubt return when this grudge has been settled. The white dwarf must purge this undead incursion into the Karaz Ankor at once. Will do. Teleport. Quick save. Probably not going to be a super difficult one either by the looks of it. Let's hope that his last one is, but who knows? Maybe there'll be some crazy reinforcements. Oh! Wait, is... I might actually remember this battle, or maybe it's the next battle. I remember there was a tough one, but I don't know if this is it. Let's find out. The undead army is revealed and the white dwarf is keen to halt this trespass into Valea's realm. It is no surprise to Grimbrindle that these dead Urks are led by a vampire. That must be dealt with quickly, but the Our
goddess has spoken to me. She who prepares the hearth, who secures our holes. Escalar have been caught sneaking about like ratmen filth, trying to gain access to our mountains unseen. Well, I see you, scum, and by Valea's cloak, I'll have every last rotten one of you back in that ground, pushing up your tombstones!
Alrighty, to the fight indeed. We start the, and also, again, love the speech, but fantastic little speech aside, we have immediately joined the fight, as we have deployed pretty much within range of the enemy, and those iron drakes of various kinds will burn, will torpedo, and will do a ton of damage to the enemy. The enemy lord tries to outrun Grimbrindle and head towards our lines, but we'll stop him in his tracks by knocking him down with those blasting charges before a swing from Grimbrindle's axe, and a few more blasting charges while he's lying on the ground to make sure that the enemy lord disappears, which was just hilarious. That said, the main enemy army, not so main perhaps. It was just a distraction, as immediately on our left flank, pretty much in the midst of our army, the enemy has arrived with flyers. 2 units of Terrorgeists. We're going to slow them down at least a little bit with a flash bomb, which will allow the troll hammers to bring them both down, but the piles of bats do manage to move in. The bats, however, are not going to be nearly as threatening as the piles of Terrorgeist, especially against our flyers. Gonna try to knock those guys out of the sky. Best we can do. But it looks like perhaps even the Terrorgeists were a distraction, as over on the other flank we've got Vargeists now moving in. Of course, we're still fighting the skeletons and stuff all over the place, but there's a significant amount of fighting going on in the air. Definitely got to be careful with this unit of gyrocopters, as they are getting mobbed by those Vargeists, though it looks like the Vargeists decide that they would prefer to go after the Troll Hammers instead. This actually probably made a lot of sense, because if they were fighting the gyrocopters in the sky above, then the Troll Hammers would have destroyed them. Though admittedly, by landing and trying to fight the Troll Hammers, they got destroyed by the gyrocopters. Fantastic. Anyway, with that, the enemy aerial flankers have been destroyed and only a couple enemy units remain on the field. Just some poor little crypt ghouls who are melting away even as I speak. Crypt ghouls absolutely not to be underestimated. They're fast and they're deadly, but alas, they couldn't accomplish much here. That was a lot nicer of a quest fight. I really enjoyed that. The sudden air force was a very dangerous moment. Alright, there we go. I can certainly see how that battle could turn very ugly, and certainly a decent one with the Vargeist and Terrorgeists arriving on our flanks and into the midst of our various units of Iron Drakes, who did well with the short fuses, racking up 96 kills and the most damage, and by a fair bit, at least for those guys. And, ooh, 60,000 damage on the Scolder Guard, mayhaps unsurprising, being a regiment of renown, all that, but still, very nice to see. With gold or healing, we should be able to heal to full here, no problem anyway, so I guess we'll execute and loot, and it's not like we need the rewards, other than the cloak. Alright, and that'll counteract the public order issues. That also give us a little bit more grudges, but we're at 10% still. Oh lord, okay. Keep on trying. Anyway, this was what? Okay, so we have Svedora, we need to... Wait, Sartorial is near Fort Skehold, which I think we can't trade to these guys still, can we? No. He might actually retake it. Because these guys don't have a territory nearby that would allow us to trade it to them. Okay. Okay, did we reach the end of everybody that has to move? Okay, let's start from the bottom this time. Okay, Hegan Bor Brightax. You are Thane with Tromak that's supposed to join... Malachi. Did I check the Master Engineers this turn? I did, okay. And we have no new Tromax. You know what? Let's get the Despises Zerks one, and let's delete them and just mill through them a little bit. Definitely gonna have to start doing that now that we can afford to do so. Expensive though it is, and it certainly is. I guess stay here. I mean, Malachi... Well, you know what? Maybe start traveling this way. Malachi will go this way towards the Steel Reavers, Fist Reavers something, Fist something... Slanesh Giggle. Anyway, you, Scout Eldauer, or Scout Silverhorn, rather. I think you're done. You've completed your duty. There is nobody else to find. This is all enemies. And this is all enemies. I assume that there's nobody that's not an enemy here. Yeah, it's all Vampiric and Chaos. Meaning, I guess you can retire, Scout Silverhorn. Leveled up to level 13 while going around scouting thanks to Tromak, but, you know, good job. You found everybody that needs to be found. I assume that there's nobody to find here. We found a Shiotla. There might be some minor factions there, but it's not like we care about the demonic factions or anything like that. So, fare thee well, sir. Wait, no items on you? No items on you. Fare thee well. You did good. Alrighty, Hegenbor Bright... No, I just... I just did that. Tech thieves. Let's steal some tech. And a nice success, and how about the next one? Somewhere in the vampiric territories, you. Nope. And steel tech. There we go. Had to move out and back in. It's superstition, and I stand by it. Old as Hellhind. I don't know, the name Oldest just makes me laugh every time. You can keep moving this way. Oh, actually, you know what? If these guys start moving towards you, maybe you can stay here in Trollzags just in case, because 3 Iron Drakes will make any garrison considerably stronger. Belagar, you... Well, you're most likely going to attack, but I don't know whether we have time to fight it this particular episode, but we'll see. That's Belagar. Yori, get gold. Why don't you go get some gold? You are besieging Putrid Swamp. Oh, right, and we are assuming that these guys will sally out as soon as that's up. So you stay where you are. Kazran Grimbrow. You were watching a Skaven little stack here, so I think what we'll do with you is we'll move you... What the heck? Okay, we'll move you here. We'll put you into ambush stance, and we'll see if those Skaven come on back. And otherwise, we'll check out Kaferkammaz, and we'll see who's out there. Huh? They're kind of running around in here as well. I wonder what the landmark in the Oak of Ages is. Kind of curious about it. The Wood Elves are nearby, and once again, decent likelihood they declare war on SK. You guys stay here, at least for now. We will get you armies, but I don't want to fight too much with these basic little, you know, non-armies right now. Until we evolve them and get them in proper shape. But right now we just need to push out the borders of the newly confederated territories in case the, in case the weaker ones fall. Anyway, Callan Heldower, I believe you were the last. Alright, so now we have, what, 3 or 4 battles to do? Okay, this should be pretty neat. Let's do a little bit of building. Maybe we'll do just the non... Can build another deeps here, can't we? 8,000 gold. I mean, still probably worth our time, right? Yeah, why not? Build the deeps here. Alright, we can afford it, I think. Sump Pit and Mines. Let's do Sump Pit for first, I guess. Doesn't really matter. Which Eagle's Peak? Yes. Kraka Ornsmatek finally going to tier 4, which is great. What is this still left? Okay, no, it's just the Deeps upgrade left. Drippin' Fangs. Let's upgrade you easily, and then we'll go for the trading post once again. I think there was a reason I wanted to keep the granaries here. I don't remember what it is. But I guess we'll deal with it later. What is this? Is this an Undercity? No, it's a Grail Knight grave. I thought this indicated Undercities. Not... Well, whatever. Let's upgrade this stuff anyway. Including the trading depot. And we're good. Black Wastes. Next up, you are going to go for the Deep Grung and for the... Could go another Deeps here. The Mortal's Hold, it's a safe enough location. Not a main settlement, and we could do capacities as well, but the Deeps will continue to... Ooh, they're 10,000 gold per now. Might be on the more expensive side. You know what, maybe hold off on that. Let's keep going through the list instead, and build the buildings that don't cost insane amounts of cash. You can have the trading depot, however. Frankly, you could also build the Deeps here, but I think we can hold off. You have the Blessed Monastery, which has been helping us out throughout the course of the campaign. You go for the Deep Grung and maybe a Deeps there. Lots of Deeps into the sort of main territories, less in the outermost territories, I think. Skullreach Cavern, you're probably going to be in the same situation. Let's upgrade you, Ornate Great Gate, to the next level. It's just a little bit of... Oath Gold, which we're about to spend 3,000, 5,000-ish of. Mason, and then we'll do Deep Grung, and then we will do the Trading Depot, and I just remembered something. Okay, let's just get through these, and then we'll do what I remembered. If I continue to remember it after this. Upgrade, yes, Engineer Capacity, so many of those. Mine, Trading Depot, mine. Trading depot. Oh, right. I was saying this place might not need the trading depots, but it is still growth faction wide, which makes it still extremely useful. Though again, I guess we don't really necessarily need them crazy amount. Does this place generate a decent amount of money? I mean, it will with the vaults aplenty, and there is adjacency bonuses there. So yeah, all right, fine. We'll still build the trading depots here, but we'll still have these 2 capacities, and we'll just need to find another place to get capacities for whatchamacallums, Bugman's Rangers. Upgrade the Rune Forge, upgrade the mines, and obviously upgrade the trading depots. And Draken Ridge. Iron mines, regular mines, or deep mines. Westgate, yes to the mines, and yes to the deep mines. Black Mountains, we are going for the mine, and I said no Karaz Ankor needed here, we can go for the refectory. Because there's no adjacency bonuses to be found here, might as well generate some beer then, at least the dwarfs in that hold will be quite amused and happy. This place we can ignore because it's going to be traded away, because your mines will not, unless we want to take Kaferkammaz tier 5, which is... I don't know if it's possible, but let's ignore you for now then. Mount Crag. Can we upgrade you? Yeah, I guess we can. Alright, Karaz Ankor. We'll need to get rid of the mustering hall, but we'll do it later, or I'll probably do it between the episodes once I take another look at what needs to be modified, but not right now, obviously. Shining Mountains. Wait, that's Moonstone Mountains. Moonstone Mountain of the Shining Mountains. We can ignore you because we're looking to take Mount Gunbad. Karag Monar, and... Okay, still waiting on that other landmark here at Karagrin. 20 marble slabs. Melee defense. Yeah, I think we've seen that one, but we'll certainly use it. You are fine as you are, Winter Pyre. We are probably going to lose it next turn. I assume we can't build this in one turn.
I am no fool.
This guy would be able to reach us if he actually tries. You know what? Try it. If we had the tech that makes it -1 for defensive structures, we could have actually probably have done that. But anyway, you can go for the trading depot. All right, and we're nearly done, guys. And then we can do another battle, at least one more. Dringorackaz, you are being kept, I guess. We'll do that, and then we'll do the trading depot. I don't know whether we'll actually have a lot of adjacency here, but we can always get rid of them later if we need to, depending on how many of these territories Boris Ursus gets away with holding, I guess. You're fine, and Dringorackaz, we are going to hopefully... Oh, we won't be able to capture Karaz-a-Karak at tier 5. Wait. I did the cancel thing, did I not? Or did I? Did I forget again? Okay, cancel this. I don't know whether it'll go up to where we need to go, but who knows, maybe it will. Huh, actually, in 2 turns it will, so if we wait a turn, we can capture Karaz-a-Karak at tier 5, which is much better. Assuming we don't get a tiny little bit of extra growth here, it's just barely 2 turns, a tiny sliver. I just don't think any of these guys have anything ancillary-wise that give us growth, do we? Do we have any ancillaries that give us growth? I know that we have some blue line traits that do, but I don't think it's worth using up blue line traits for that. It's only a turn at the end of the day. Oh, wait. Jewelsmith. Alright, Jewelsmith for you. And I guess Jewelsmith for you. And others probably have Jewelsmiths, but those Jewelsmiths are, you know, where they're supposed to be, and I'm too lazy to, you know, redo that. Alright, did that do it? No, what's the... Growth needed for surplus, 557 out of 750. Wait, yeah, wait, it did do it. 1 turn. Yes, okay, that's perfect. Then it'll go to 3, we take Karaz-a-Karak, which is at tier 4, then we take it back at tier 5. Yes, everything's fine, nobody panic. Alright, now, which battle did we want to do? I'm most excited for watching the Slayers fight again. Granted, it's without Ungrim, he'll be back next turn, but we'll give Alaric Ranulfson here a chance. He has nothing super useful, so we'll give him more of endurance. The Slayers are going to be way weaker under him than they would be under Ungrim, which means probably a decent likelihood of massive casualties. Which is why this should be a fun battle. You can harden their armor as much as you can, sir. They're going to need it. Dragon Slayers, so let's get you army of... a Slayer of Many army of 1. Foe Seeker, Follower of Grimnir. What are you again? Oh, right, we're probably gonna delete you. So it doesn't really matter what we get. We're fighting greenskins right now, right? Guess we could get a Big Game Slayer in case we get attacked by trolls. Let's do Big Game Slayer. Alright, what about you? We're attacking, so let's get Join My Legend. And Scarred but Not Dead as well for the additional physical resistance. And then you can have, I guess, Hard to Hit. I don't know whether we're keeping you around either, but we'll see. Oh, you know what? Hard to Hit into 1 point into Stubborn Defiance so that we can get you Foe Seeker in case you start losing your vigor. Anyway, King's Way. This is the way. Let's quick save it in case it crashes as it's done, and then let's do one more fight before we end the episode off without Ungrim to lead the Slayers. Should be a fun one.
For the ancestors! Bring the grudge makers to battle!
Alrighty, here we go for the ancestors indeed. Let's see how our Slayer army handles itself against massive piles of Skaven. At least the Doomseekers will be right at home here, spinning to win and swinging those chained axes around as they obliterate hundreds of Skaven, though I'm probably getting a little bit ahead of myself. Gotta remember, without Ungrim to buff everybody up, our Slayers are going to be a lot more fragile and a lot less high damage dealing than they would be under him, so we'll hope that Alaric Ranulfson's command here, for the brief time that he has it, doesn't end in disaster for Ungrim's Slayers. Or at least, I mean, the Slayers are probably hoping it kind of does end in disaster, I'm not entirely sure. Do the Slayers hope the battle is won? I guess they hope that the battle is won, but they also die. Alrighty, well, some of them I'm sure will die here, as that's a lot of rats, and as we know, basic slayers especially are liable to lose models against even the most basic units due to lack of melee defense, so here we go. Now, in terms of how we're doing this, we charge the Doomseekers and our elite units of Dragonback Slayers into the fray immediately, to just get into the thick of the fighting. And ooh, I like that the Brotherhood of Grimnir's tattoos glow well enough so that you can easily see them even among the Skaven corrupted skies. Anyway, we charged in the Doomseekers, but we kept back the units of Giant Slayers. One is here and then one is running around. Okay, it's over here. The idea is, clearly, we kept them back so that we could go after the Doom Wheel here with the anti-large specialists, so the Giant Slayers, and then these Giant Slayers are going to go after the enemy Rat Ogres. Gotta do a little bit of rock, paper, scissorsing, rather than just the standard old unga-bunga type of deal that we might have been able to do if Thorgrim was leading the army. Anyway, the Doom Wheel getting absolutely obliterated by the Giant Slayers, who took maybe 15% of their HP and damage, but otherwise no real concern. And didn't lose a single unit at that. Our Doomseekers are still doing great work. Those axes of theirs flashing. And probably, let's see, this regular unit of Doomseekers, 121 skills. I might have missed a spin to win, or I might have not. I'm not entirely sure. But I suppose we see them killing enemies in droves anyway. And the same, it looks like this unit just spin to wind. I guess one of these units should follow suit shortly. Actually seem to be... there we go. Slightly offset in terms of their time. Alright. A little bit more damage. Probably could have worked our way deeper into the enemy formation before doing that, or maybe it was just that spinning to win like that cleared the enemy. Too bad that all the tattoos don't glow in the exact same manner as the Brotherhood of Grimnir do, because once again, they're a lot easier to spot on the battlefield when it's dark like this. But I guess it gives us a sort of linchpin and anchoring sort of a visual for dark maps. And everybody else, I mean, the other battles that this army has fought have been on light maps, so yeah. Can't wait to see what heights we can take these Slayers by the time that we max them out, both with tech and with Thorgrim. Alrighty, and with that, the enemy's main line is on the verge of buckling. The balance of power has shifted to about 65% perhaps in our favor. Mr. Snorri Nosebiter has defeated the enemy lord, and I believe the Rat Ogres have been brought down by the Giant Slayers in the same way that the enemy Doom Wheel has. Our spare units of regular Slayers and the Grudge Settler variant of also regular Slayers are running around in the back line, making sure that any enemy units... Oh, is this second unit of Rat Ogres or is this the same one? Oh, I think it might have routed and then rallied. Anyway, everybody's running around, obliterating Skaven, as one does. And as one does pretty successfully, I might add, by the looks of it, as the balance of power shifts even further in our favor to about 80%, and it looks like the enemy army is on the verge of breaking. There's a big old blob here that, admittedly, has managed to dish out some heavy damage to some units of Slayers. Frankly, a bunch of them are below half HP at about 40%. Like these Giant Slayers, we can see the HP bar is fairly low everywhere. But again, as we've seen below, once these Slayers get even lower in HP, they become more physically resistant and harder to bring down. And with that, I do believe the last of the holdouts of the rats will shatter, and the battle will be ours. Fantastic. A very bloody battlefield as the Slayers hack their way through the multitudinous rat hordes. And it's nice to see the Slayers getting the chance to do this, as we've been frying and pincushioning and bonking with hammers the rats throughout the course of the battle, throughout the course of the campaign. And definitely have to have all of the different armies take the rat menace on. Fortunately, there's always more rats where that came from. Alrighty, there we go. Some mighty fine slayering, even with Thorgrim not there to lead the army. Tons of damage on the Doomseekers, unsurprisingly, mincing massive piles of infantry is what they're good at, though plenty of damage on all the various Slayers, and generally speaking, as well. Did a little bit of rock, paper, scissoring by having the Giant Slayers knock out the enemy Doom Wheel and the Rat Ogres as well, which worked out pretty well in preventing those guys from causing havoc in our relatively fragile lines. Lovely. Alright, and then Ungrim will be back next turn. Occupy, and I was worried that would crash. Dwarf Tattooist for you. And there we go. Now we have 4, and as soon as we capture Mount Gunbed, we'll have 5, which means we'll be able to upgrade it to tier 5. And, yeah. I think... Let me just see here again. It's low casualties, it's close victory. We have 2 armies here, and we just mostly knock out the walls with our artillery, and then destroy the enemy artillery with a grudge thrower from a distance that the enemy can't reach. And... it's a single army rather than 2 stacks, so I think probably not worth our time. So I think we're just going to auto-resolve it, assuming nobody dies. Yeah. We still have a bunch of fights to do in this very turn. The more we spread out, the more fighting we gotta constantly do. So, yeah, we'll take Mount Gunbad like this. No worries. And, hey, we got a Lichbone Pennant out of that? Well, that certainly made it worthwhile. Occupy, and... immediately at tier 5. Great hold. Beautiful. Don't need the Toolmaker's Workshop. Don't need the Monument of Grimnir here either. We can keep the Foundry because we still need capacity, but delete the Stonebeard Bakery and probably the Ranger's Outpost, and frankly both of the bakeries, generally speaking. We might even not need the foundry here, but I'll think about it. We'll see what other things we gotta do. This place will also be generating a ton of cash due to the presence of the Brightstone mines, so we probably want to just max out the amount of money that this particular province generates. Yeah. Anyway, okay, you're not keeping that Lichbone Pennant. I think we'll give that to the Thunder Barge, because I like those on Thunder Barges. But we'll see. Anyway, Stonemason, Province Secured, Shining Mountains. It's been a long, long time coming. Anyway, folks, with that, we're out of time. There's still more fighting to do this turn, like with Malachi, and I think there's one more somewhere. I'll refresh myself as to where. Between that, we'll fight for Shaman Darek and occupy it. And then hopefully trade it to Boris for a critical territory up in the north. Generally speaking, otherwise, next time we'll be taking the fight back to the Steelfist Reavers after we knock out Sarthoriel, so that this Zinchling isn't around. We will take Nagashazar, most likely with Thorgrim, and I know I've said this like 5 episodes in a row at least, finally, at the gates of Nagashazar, complete the 8 Peaks Legendary Grudge and get our short victory at least. And, I mean, at the same time, we might be able to complete multiple Legendary Grudges over the course of this Age of Reckoning, because, well, we're gonna need it. Anyway, more Dwarfs to come, so stay tuned. Don't forget to leave those likes and comments below, especially the threshold for the longer episodes. All glory to the algorithm, and thanks for watching.